Ndị Igbo si na ọ dị ndụ egbu n'onwe ya. What it means is that whatever you do, no matter the situation you find yourself in, you shouldn't give up. Once there is life, there's always hope. Hello guys, and welcome back to the Afrofood Diary. In today's yummy episode, this is what we're making. A yummy, super delicious jollof rice. This is not like the everyday jollof rice, and I'll be showing and telling you how and why. As we go on, sit back and enjoy. The first ingredient is our basmati rice, which I have washed thoroughly and soaked in here for 20 minutes. I have already developed stew. Here I have some smoked mackerel. I have some goat meat already boiled and some grilled oxtail. That is the stock that came out from the goat meat and the oxtail. And I also have some store-bought oxtail stock, okay? The rest, I have some cayenne pepper. I have dry thyme in there. I've got some onions, three medium-sized onions. I have some fresh basil leaves. I have seasoning cubes. I have some salt. I have garlic powder as well. And I have turmeric. So a very quick hand wash before we go on with the preparation process. Once done, I will go on and wash this rice again. Normally I make the regular Niger kind of rice, the one you parboil for a few minutes before you wash and then cook. But this basmati rice calls for wash and soaking for 20 minutes before you actually cook it. I don't need to parboil, but depending on the kind of rice you're using, you do what you were asked to do or what has been working for you for a while. I have also gone ahead to chop up the onions like that, and how can I forget, I'll be using some olive oil for the cooking, okay? So over here I'll transfer the pot onto the cooktop and I'll be sprinkling in about 2 tablespoons of the olive oil, not a lot. Remember, I have already developed the stew, like the sauce for this jollof rice. This is a sharp jollof rice. Yeah, the kind of jollof rice you can fix within 30-40 minutes. Yeah, that is how I do it. On days that I'm in a super hurry, I always leave some already developed stew aside. Meanwhile, I had gone ahead to debone the smoked mackerel at this point, and our proteins are set. So next, when the oil is hot enough, I'm going to add almost all the onions, leaving just a little bit behind, and then I'll go in and saute the onions for a little bit. You can see that there is little or no oil in that pot, as our stock, our sauce already has some oil, okay? So, and of course, I like to sprinkle in some onions, some salt into the onion, just a tiny little bit. And then I'm going to pour in the already developed stew. This is like I made stew and I scooped a little bit and for the jollof rice, okay? So that is how that stew came about. Next, I'm going to be sieving the stock, as I don't want the bigger coagulated chunks to get into the sauce. Yeah. What do you call this? Let me know in the comment section, okay? I'm not sure I'm calling it the right name. So after I added the stock I cooked by myself, I added about a cooking spoon of the store-bought one as well, and then a teaspoon of thyme, a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. The stew already had some pepper, so you adjust to your own taste, okay? I also added a teaspoon of garlic powder, about a teaspoon too of the turmeric powder, and here I'm adding the seasoning cubes. I'm using 2. You will notice that apart from the tiny little bit of salt I sprinkled into the onions, I wouldn't be adding any more salt to this dish, okay? But you adjust according to your taste. By the way, what we are cooking is 3 cups of rice. So I'm not going to be frying that, just bring it to a boil and I'll transfer in the washed rice. Now this is the perfect time to celebrate. Hooray! Our channel got monetized and we hit 1K subscribers, and we got what YouTube requires to keep us staying on this platform. Thank you all so much. I actually started the appreciation way before this happened, so thank you once again, and God bless you for being here. So I had to taste for salt, and then I added 1 more cooking spoon of the store-bought oxtail stock. Yeah, that is to loosen it up a little bit more. Depending on the rice you're cooking, you want to keep the level of the fluid in it just at the same level as the rice. It's better to add too little than too much water. So now the amount of fluid is just perfect. I added the cooked goat meat, and then I'll cover with a baking sheet and then replace the lid. I'm keeping the heat at 5, which is like medium to low, and letting it cook for 10 minutes. After which I'll open it up and check the amount of fluid in it, and also stir it together so that the juice and everything will keep getting into the rice. At this point, I had checked the rice and it was like 70-80% cooked. So this is the perfect time to stir it in, like mix everything together once again. One great tip when making jollof rice is to mix when you get the stock in, and mix again halfway and then mix at the end. So once I'm done mixing it in, this is the perfect time to add the deboned smoked mackerel. Yeah guys, the idea is that I want the mackerel to gather some of the juice from this rice without infusing its own taste into the rice. The rice is already loaded with a lot of flavors, but I want to have a bite of the slightly crunchy smoked mackerel in this rice. That's the idea, and that's why we added it at this point. I also added the remaining onions at this point as well and mixed everything together. And this is the perfect time to lay the grilled oxtail on the rice. Okay, I'll cover it again and let the rest of the fluid in there to dry for the next 5 to 6 minutes. And guys, here is what we have. Before I mix it for the very last time, I'm going to go in now and take off the grilled oxtail. Okay, now this is the perfect time to go back in and mix everything together. By now every grain of rice is coated in mouth-watering flavor. Taste one last time and see that everything is as it should be, and you can go for the very bottom of the pot to scoop up the smoked part if you want it to be really smoky jollof rice. And with that, our recipe was ready, guys. Thank you so much for hanging on. I hope you find this interesting and informative. With that, I say thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video.